Alright guys, we are at the National Farm Machinery Show, which happens every year right around Valentine's Day in Louisville, Kentucky. That's always fun when you're trying to explain to your wife or girlfriend for the first time why you're not going to be around for Valentine's Day. But this is, I believe they bill it as the largest indoor farm show in North America or something like that. And I'd say it and Farm Progress are probably the two most popular agriculture trade shows that take place. So like I said, head in and see what all the hype's about. And you don't see very many Deutz around where we live, but that black Deutz tractor is pretty sharp. If you've never been to a trade show, basically what the purpose of these, come to this, you can talk to the company that manufactured the products you use. You can see what they have new to offer and whatnot. Just a chance for companies to showcase what they have. Everything's in one building. Pretty nice. We do things like look at strip till units. So when Dad and I come to these events, usually we try to visit companies that we have products through to see what new upgrades they have coming to those, and then we also check out things we're interested in. So like this year we'll definitely be checking out strip till units.
So here's the Capello booth in front of us, and we have a Capello corn head. So I'll stop there and check it out.
Well, like I said, I was going to stop by the Capello booth, and they just got a new head coming out. This is their redesigned 12-row 30-inch folding head. Brian Foster, he's going to tell us a little bit about it. What's the actual model number or name of this one?
Yeah, so this is the Diamant that's just going to be brought over to the United States for Harvest 2020. A lot of different changes in it. We still offer our other models, but this is just a new model with some updates that we are bringing to the United States.
Okay. I know you were kind of telling me before we started filming that like the snouts on this thing fold up a little bit different than what I'm used to, and it looks like they pop off super easy. So you mind showing us that?
Yeah. You know, everybody loves when they snap a snout and get really mad when they see that bill from the dealership. But
and they have so many uses when they're just laying around in the shop.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You could do whatever you would need with that. But no, so we designed a spring system that if the snout would ever get caught up or dragged, it would actually pop and then fall back into place to reduce that that chance of twisting and snapping a snout off. So right over here, so if you were running through the field, hit something, it pops up and would actually fall back into place.
And then when it's up in the upright position like that, it's basically just sitting here, right, locked in by this, but it's pretty easy to pop it off from there, isn't it?
Yes, yep. So you'd actually just, if you were going from a transport and wanted them down,
Now, there was a couple other things that were a little bit different on the actual row unit themselves. I know you were mentioning the spring tensioner. That looked like it was a pretty nice upgrade from what our other Capello head is. You mind showing us that?
So we'll pop this up. So if you were ever wanting to go in storage or transport mode, that's that easy to get it there. But then you can actually get access to the row unit. And so with the Diamant, we've actually changed the spring tensioner for the idler sprocket. So it's a little bit more of a closed system. So you don't we don't introduce any potential for debris and dust to get in there. It'd be a grease zerk that you can keep filled with grease. And then
the idea of filling that with grease is just to take up any airspace, basically.
Basically, yep. Okay. Yep. It's not so much, it would work as a lubricant, but also just filling any air gaps so that that dust cannot get in there. The other big feature for this cornhead model is our dual action deck plates. So actually, both sides of the deck plates actually move when they are adjusted from the cab.
Okay. All right, well, that's pretty exciting stuff. I know that the dual deck plates, that's going to be a nice feature. I mean, it seems like, especially in droughts and stuff, you can never get them tight enough. You're always out here having to manually adjust them. So
right.
That'll be pretty nice just to be able to save a lot of time, too. So.
Yep, just from the button of the cab.
Yep. So. As far as the fold system, is that all the same or anything?
The hinge system and the folding system is the same.
Okay.
it's a great system that's worked on the Quasar model, so they actually brought it over here to the Diamant model as well. The hood is a little bit different though in the center. If you look at yours, you can see that there actually is a little bit of a difference.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys are in the market for an aftermarket corn head, especially a folding corn head, like I said, we've been running one since 2012, I believe. Very minimal issues and a lot of acres on it. Can't recommend them enough, so check out the guys at Capello. One thing that's kind of nice about this show, usually every booth that you usually visit is in the same spot. So now I think I'm going to head down and talk to Seed Consultants. That's our seed company we deal with. They are usually right down here. I'm just here for the free stuff. Now, like I said, I was going to stop at the Seed Consultants booth. This is Luke Fox. He is our seed rep. So, Luke, like one of the big things you guys have had coming in the last 2 years is the launch of Enlist soybeans. Is it? You had a few out last year. This will probably be the first year where you've got several acres of them out, isn't it?
Correct. This is the first year of full launch, basically, and we haven't seen any yield drag compared to any other genetics with the Extends or Liberties or Roundups. They've been all pretty competitive. We're excited to see what they do this year. A lot of people have them out. We're eager to see.
Yeah, I know we had initially placed an order for Enlist beans, but unfortunately none of our neighbors did, so we did stick with dicamba. But one thing that really seems nice about those, you don't have as much drift issues. I think you still have a boundary, but it doesn't look like dicamba. It doesn't look like it's as volatile, where it can get up and move away. So should be some pretty exciting stuff if you're if you're into seed and stuff. Like I guess if you're a farmer, it's exciting.
If you're a farmer, it's exciting stuff. So.
Yep. Like I said, there's certain things you'll never get excited about unless you're a farmer. One of those is fertilized placement, the other one's seed genetics. One thing about this show is it's big, and I gotta get to the other side of it in like 20 minutes. I don't see George anywhere yet. I think he's still on the road, but this is definitely where he will be hanging out.
Right there is the ice cream.
That's usually his favorite spot. Yeah, I'm actually heading to the Unpreferred booth to, I guess, doing a booth appearance. This is new. But that's where I'll be from 11 to 12 today. Just finishing up doing the meet and greet at the Unpreferred booth and bumped into Andy from Farm Fixing and Fabricating. First time we've ever got to meet, so it's good to finally track you down, man.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you, Brian.
It's good to meet you too.
That's the reason why I came to the show here. So, you know.
It had nothing to do with all these nice tractors.
Well, I could see this. We got a show at home, and it's going to be next week. But I was kind of in the area for other reasons. I said, well, I might as well hit the show here. First time to the farm show, about 15 years ago, I went to the truck show, but that's a whole different animal, you know, and stuff like you never see. But you know how this farm machinery stuff is. A lot of the stuff you see, and then some of the stuff, the new improved stuff, you catch too. So
but if you guys want something a little different, Andy's chopping, got a bunch of cows. I mean, we've got a really cool channel, so be sure to check that out. If you guys like green, he does have a lot of green equipment.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. It's green. It's there's some yellow on it, just a different shade of yellow than you're used to. But there's nothing wrong with that cat yellow either.
That's right.
That's Challenger. Yeah, that yellow is nice too. So.
Yep. Well, it's good meeting you, Andy.
Nice meeting you too, Brian.
No problem. $30,000. No big, you know. I said, well, I can't try to stop working on
Well, I was just walking by the JCB booth, and this was all the talk of the food court about this really fast JCB, and I was thinking, well, yeah, they run like 40 miles an hour, and then I get up here and see it actually runs 153 miles an hour. So. What's the scoop on this?
Yeah, so everybody knows us for our fast tracks, normal 43 miles an hour. But this is the world's fastest tractor. It is a JCB engine. The max speed was 153 on it. Did an average of 135. JCB engine that's just been finely tuned. So.
Okay. That's 1,000 horsepower.
Just over 1,000 brake horsepower, so a little bit more than our 330
Yeah, a little
on
bit.
our 8330 big tractor.
A little bit.
So.
One thing that really surprised me was that this tractor still had a hydraulic remote back in the back, and what looked like it might have been somewhat of a hitch. Is that just for like to get the record, or?
Yeah, I think so. Some of that stuff has
Yeah,
to
I
stay
got
on
you.
there, and there's also some safety stuff back there. So I'm sure it's all tied
Right.
together. They did take the parachute off for the show. So full roll cage, so definitely safety, just like on our big tractors.
All right. Well, thanks for showing us around.
No problem. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Brad and I were just talking. He was telling me that you guys are starting to venture more into the row crop side of the tractor market. Care to elaborate on that some?
Yeah, so we do have some customers pulling planers with it, 12 row, 24 row, depends on your terrain. We also have some guys pulling your grain carts with them. So the nice thing with your grain carts is you can get to the field before the combine, or you don't have to make as many trips across the field because you can handle the speed a lot better. So it does go 43 miles an hour down the road standard, fully chassis tractor, so you got a nice ride. External brakes, so if you are hauling anything heavy, you don't have to worry about any of that debris and your brake overheating.
Look, like just from the outward appearance, this almost looks like an articulating tractor, but it's not. It's front wheel steer.
Yeah, it is just front wheel steer. We do have a 4220 model, a little bit smaller. It has 4 equal sized tires. That tractor does have 4 wheel steer on it, and that tractor runs up to 220 horsepower. That's our smaller series, a little bit about closer to the same size of the world's fastest tractor we just talked about.
So is this your biggest horsepower size you have then at 330?
Yeah, this is our biggest tractor we have right now. So, and this is on our 710s. We also have a 900 rear tire, so a little bit wider tire.
Okay, gotcha.
If you need to have a little bit more traction on the ground.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is odd. I'm just looking at a yellow hood, but it ain't a Challenger. It's the first time I've ever been in a JCB tractor. It's a little different. This cab kind of reminds me. They said this is their cab, that they designed this cab. Reminds me a lot of the Rogator, or the Rogator or the Terragator. I'm not sure. This must be your. I don't even know if this is a power shift. This must be your throttle. I'm guessing. I'm pretty sure this is a power shift. I know you got a front and rear PTO. Hydraulic controls in there. I don't know if this is a computer that the tractor runs through. I don't know. This design tractor is a little different. Like I said, it looks like an articulator, but it's not an articulating tractor. Can't quite see the drawbar back there, but you do have, you have decent visibility out the back of it, but it's a little different. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Did find out that tractor does have the same transmission as in my 1038, the AGCO Vario transmission, so that's pretty cool. It's a pretty robust transmission. That Brent cart right there, you may think, well, that looks pretty similar to the Unferforth cart you ran. That's because it is. They are owned by the same people. Unferforth owns them. Kill Brothers, Parker, and then they have their own line of Unferforth carts. So they're all pretty similar. They each have a little bit of things that set them apart. Dad and BJ are supposed to be over here somewhere. So they're at the AGCO booth.
Morning, Mr. Brown.
Morning.
Alright, made my way over here to the AGCO display, bumped into a familiar face. This is Stuart Maxwell. Stuart, you've been with AGCO for how many years now? I mean, I've seen you at shows for a long time. You're a pretty unmistakable guy, so you've been around.
Well, I've been around since 1978 in this cast iron business.
There we go. Okay.
So, just an old cast iron peddler. How's that?
But you were going to talk to us a little bit about the new 900 series Fendt tractors.
Yes.
I guess one question I would have before we get started, just as a producer, I've seen 900 series Fendts for a long time, but what makes this different? I'm guessing it's something to do with row crop versus non-row crop.
Right. Well, the biggest thing on the Fendt 900, we call it the next gen, or the generation 6 900. It is the 6th generation of the 900 series, and something that we've been asking for since the dawn of time in North America with Fendt was always row crop capability. And like its bigger sister, brother, if you want to call it, the 1000 series Fendt, which we introduced a few years back as row crop. This is now row croppable, so we can get into those 30-inch corn rows. And that's one of the biggest things. There's many more things with the 900 Gen 6 series.
Speaking of the 1000 series, I mean, I'm pretty familiar with one. We've got a couple of them. Is this running the same man engine, smaller displacement, or?
Yes, it is running a 9-liter MAN engine. So yes, like its bigger brother, sister, it of the same family. We've had great success. Of course, the history of MAN is basically the developers of the first diesel engine, 1899. So
a lot of people probably
history,
don't realize that.
A lot of history behind this engine, and a great engine. Yes.
Same single-speed CVT transmission.
Yeah, it's a slightly different size of continuously variable transmission. Of course, Fendt is the innovator of the continuously variable transmission, so not as much horsepower output on the 900 series versus the 1000 series and that, but a single speed. And the big advantage there, of course, is it's going to direct the power where it needs to go. Basically, the power is split in the transmission. Half of it goes to the front axle, half goes to the rear, but it distributes the power where it needs the power.
Anything else? I think you were saying something about this sign here. Someone was coming from a different shade of green. This will highlight some of the.
One of the features that the next generation Fendt has, as well as the new 1000 series, is Green Fit. And basically what Green Fit is, it's plug and play. So you're used to a Green Star system in your current tractor or whatever, and basically you don't want to change systems. Bring that system to us. We put it in the tractor and go. Bring your receiver and let's run your system in there. If you want to add your terminal in there additionally with our terminal, the outlets are in the cab, so it's basically plug and play. So we're trying to open up, and we have opened up the architecture, so it's just plug and play. And that goes the same for Ag Leader as well. Basically seamless for the end user.
While we were over here at the AGCO booth, kind of checking this Gleaner out, and got introduced to Todd Davis. He's going to tell us a little bit about it. Are you a product specialist then for the Gleaner?
That's correct, marketing product specialist.
What's the main, I don't have a lot of Gleaner experience admittedly, but that is our roots for our farm. That's what my dad grew up running. There's a lot of differences in how this combine works versus like a rotor machine, is that correct?
That's correct. This is a rotor machine, but it's a transverse rotor. So as you sit in the seat, it goes across, right?
Versus long ways,
And axials are the long ways you sit in the seat. So we have a 39-inch feeder house. We feed at 39 inches, we thresh at 39 inches. An axial, is going to take that wide feeder house, boil it down to a 30-inch cone. It's boil action in there. So it's even feeding to the cylinder. We thresh at 39 inches, natural flow, 2.5 times out the rotor and out.
What's the main difference between this and a cylinder machine? Is it because you're I don't know if auguring is the right word, but you're pushing that grain to one side and then out, or
so a lot of people get the misconception it takes a 90-degree twice, right? And it doesn't. Of course, it is the rotor going across this way, so we feed in, but we got the helicals that guide it. It starts going at an angle, right? So it wraps around 2.5 times and out, right? So it's very efficient. 360 degrees of separation. Most axials we got 180, maybe a little more separation. We got 360 degrees of separation.
What else is, I guess, after we go through the rotor, what we got going on there?
So the heart and soul of a Gleaner combine is accelerator roll lugs. Right underneath the rotor, all the mog and grain goes to accelerator roll lugs. They'll throw the grain down and mog 4 times the speed of gravity. And underneath those lugs, we have 2-stage cleaning. We have a blast under the lugs that does 2/3 of our cleaning before it even touches the chaffer and sieve. And then the chaffer and sieve do the other 30.
So you're getting a really clean sample.
That's right.
What sizes do these machines come in? That's one thing I've always heard is, capacity-wise, they don't go up as high as others, but I thought I heard someone say you guys have a Class 9 machine. Is that correct?
The Gleaner goes from Class 6, 7, and 8. We don't have a Class 9. You want to talk capacity? I've seen the Class 7s get that 5,000 bushel an hour. it can be done. A lot of people don't think so, but it can be done.
Okay. Now, one thing my dad always used to talk about when we were running Gleaners before my time was that he could take that whole combine apart, put it back together in less than a day. Is that still the case as far as serviceability of these machines?
Yeah, serviceability on the Gleaner combine, we had the farmer in mind, right? So basically 85–90% of this combine you can do from the ground level.
Okay.
And reconditioning, you know, you talk about cost of reconditioning, it's really low compared to most other combines, right? So if you take it in every year, you can look at that 7 to maybe 15,000, where the other guys yearly are going to be that 20 to 30,000.
Yeah.
So it's the cost of ownership is really low.
Okay. Well, what about weight-wise? Just looking at the machine, it definitely looks smaller than the Ideal beside it.
That's right.
Some of the other machines you see out here at the show. So.
Yeah, this combine as it sits without a header is 32,500 pounds.
Okay.
Definitely the lightest combine on the market.
Okay. So with that light of a machine, is tracks an option, or is it really new?
So we don't have factory option for tracks, but you know, saucy tracks, you know, the people put those on. But you know, heck, with the light combine,
yeah,
really
you're a lot lighter than most machines on the market. So, yep, that's. I appreciate the information and. Thanks for your time.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, the show's starting to wind down. I was finally able to get into the John Deere booth. One thing that really caught my eye was this beautiful 4430 sitting there. Like, that thing is gorgeous. It's probably prettier now than it was when it rolled off the factory. But that caught my eye, and it kind of drew me this planter that's being pulled by this 4430, which kind of raised some questions. This is a modern planter being pulled by an older machine. So what's the story on this?
Yeah, definitely. So this planter is hot off the press, just announced today. It is a brand new planter, but we have it connected to a 43-year-old tractor.
Okay.
So the nice thing about this planter is we can keep it pretty basic to be compatible with a tractor that's already in producers' sheds today. Yeah. Or we can go a little more progressive. We can put row clutches on this planter. We can do GPS documentation with this planter.
So I see this one's got a receiver on top of it.
Yep.
So is that just to show that? I mean, even that tractor can still run clutches and stuff then?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, this 43-year-old tractor, you can put a AutoTrack universal steering wheel in there. Put a receiver up top, and it'll do guidance and AutoTrack. And you can spec up the planter to do row shutoffs as well.
Okay. That's pretty. What sizes are these available in?
Yep, the two configurations we have is an 8-row 30-inch corn, standard corn, or this one shown here, it has 15 rows on 15-inch spacing, so you can plant corn on 8 rows, but then drop the back rank down.
So a splitter planter.
A split planter to do your beans.
Okay.
The other nice thing about this planter is it folds up. It pivot folds, so we can go down the road about 12 foot wide, trailing really nicely between the duals, behind the duals of the tractor.
Gotcha. Okay. So what's the? I see. Does this have an onboard hydraulic system, or is it just running completely off of the?
Oh, that's a great question. So we made it simple to hook to these older tractors. We can run this particular planter with one set of hydraulic hoses.
Okay, so part of the hydraulic unit is contained on the planter. Okay.
Yeah, so we can do our raise lower and our folding and our markers all off one unit.
Okay, I got you.
And that valve block helps achieve that.
All right, well, that's pretty exciting. I know you still see a lot of these old John Deere tractors out and about, so yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff.
It is.
So. All right, well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Yep, thank you. Got over here to one of the more anticipated releases, one of the more anticipated things people are going to be seeing at the farm show, the new RX John Deere tractors with the 4 tracks. That's how long has this has been out? What, a couple months now?
A couple months since November.
Okay, yeah. Pretty neat concept, but I guess what's the main purpose? I'm guessing you're coming at it from a compaction standpoint.
Compaction, traction, and flotation is our 3 main drivers for the 8RX. So we really want to try and get in the field and try and disturb as little of soil as possible, and trying to really maximize that traction whenever times are tough. Okay, I got you.
What kind of maneuverability are you getting with this? Because that's one thing kind of stuck out to me. Like, is it still going to be able to turn the same radius as like a regular front wheel assist machine would do?
So I'll actually be able to turn smaller. So 3 feet smaller on turning radius over the 8R wheel with duals, comparable tread spacings. So that just comes into play with a tighter turning angle, which then requires lot more hydraulic power.
Okay.
You can sit on dry concrete, turn with your single finger, where an 8R wheel is not able to do that today.
Okay. And as far as spacing, are you kind of limited on that, or are you able to still adjust your spacing?
You still can adjust your spacing. So it'll come out with 4 spacings, 76, 80, 88, and 120. Okay. And so you can mix and match those between belt sizes as well. So 18-inch front belts, 24-inch front, 18, 24, and 30-inch rear belts, and you can mix and match those as well. So it really allows you to open up the possibilities for row spacings and for different crops. Biggest thing too is this is adjustable after the fact. So if a customer wants to try and go from a 120 to an 88, it's simple 4 spacers, and it bolts right into place and allows that customer to move that tractor.
Okay. As far as models, I mean, the same model as the front wheel assist. I mean, all on up to what is it, 410 for the? Okay.
There are 4 models. There's an 8RX, 310, a 340, a 370, and a 410.
Okay.
So the transmission offerings that you'll have is the bottom 3 horsepower models. You'll have an IVT and an E23.
Okay.
E23 only in the 410 model today.
Okay, I got you. And engine-wise, is this the same engine that you guys have been running for a while now?
This is the same engine, yep.
8.4, is that what it is?
This is a 9-liter.
Okay.
Yep, so 9-liter. This is the same engine. We did completely redesign the entire after-treatment device. So we used to have 3 canisters, and we really sectioned that down to 1, made it a little bit more efficient, really being able to open that visibility lane up to the entire row.
Okay. All right. Is the cab? I've heard. I'm sure everyone's heard about the massage chair. That's the first thing my rep when he got in. He's like, "Oh, I'm getting a massage going down the road right now."
Yep.
Other than that, is the cab quite a bit different from like an 8400R? Or?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's all redesigned.
It's all brand new redesigned. So everything, the ROP structure is new, the glass is new. Everything from top to bottom. Air conditioner's been relocated. Really increased the capacity there, and we really tried to focus on comfort. That seat is optimal for comfort. I mean, foot pegs, everything from cab suspension on down is built specifically for operator comfort on the 4-track machine frame.
Okay. And I see you're still running through a 4600 display then?
Yes, 4600 display is in base, and auto track is also in base too for the life of the tractor.
Okay. I guess one thing I should have got to when we were talking about the tracks, I'm guessing you have cab suspension, but with the tracks, you kind of limited on your axle suspension then, or is there a suspension component in the tracks themselves?
Sure, yeah. So the axle actually pivots about the midpoint, and so the front undercarriage will actually pivot about the midpoint, and the rear undercarriage will pivot also about the midpoint.
Okay.
The rear undercarriage also comes into play with isolators, and so it really helps isolate a lot of the vibrations that's coming from the road because you're sitting directly underneath the rear axle.
Okay.
Roadability for this tractor, I've mentioned that a little bit, is you can have 18, 24, and 30-inch rear belts, and that comes with different speeds. So 18 will have a base tractor, will be a 26 miles an hour road speed, and then depending on the weight, depending on how much you need to restrict that down. But there's a kind of a picture in the cab that shows kind of how things work after you do get in the field.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate the quick overview.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. If you guys aren't aware, there's another YouTuber that works for Versatile. You should see him at every show. I gotta stop in and say hi to Farmhand Mike.
Yeah. Anyways, he had a.
Well, I was getting ready to walk out the door, and I had to stop by and talk to Mike for a minute.
Absolutely.
It seemed like it was was it Commodity Classic last year you guys debuted this tractor, the Nemesis?
No, it was at a dealer meeting a week before the Commodity Classic.
Okay. I remember it was right after the farm show. So. Didn't get a chance to check it out last year, so I thought we'd stop in and check it out this year.
Yep. So we got the Model 195 here. So right now we got 3 sizes available. We got a 175, a 195, and a 210.
Okay.
So you've got a lot of options here. You see we now have a loader tractor. So this is a smaller model for us, but it's new, and we're excited about it. So if we can take a little walk around it if you want, but a little bit about it. It's of course Versatile uses Cummins engines and everything, so this has a 6.7 Cummins diesel engine in it, and you can see we got a loader for it now, so you can get whatever suspended front axle. We got a front 3-point front PTO, duals. yeah, we've got a nice cab up here, so we can jump up in the cab. We'll take a little look if you want to. This cab is a little different than our other tractors. Pretty much when you get up to our 265, all the way up through our four-wheel drives, the controls are the same in all of them, so if you can run one of those. But this is laid out a little different. This has a range transmission, and with a power shift, you can run it as a full power shift. You can run it as an automatic. So to start out, we have, of course, our brake. We have a shuttle shift here for like doing loader work. That's pretty nice. And then we can run this like a power shift if we want to. We can run it in an automatic mode. Do got a lot of different options here on the transmission. So, yep. And hydraulics, we do offer hydraulics here on the joystick as well too now. Then we got our loader controls and then all your other stuff. You can see pretty nice cab. Got a sunroof in here for
it's pretty nice for loader work.
Yeah. So so we're pretty excited about it. I've got to drive these some. They're pretty new. I haven't been out in the field with these doing tillage work or anything, but I'm pretty excited to get one out there and see what it can do. So you're up.
I'm guessing with this machine, though, you're kind of looking for more of that like livestock market and that kind of stuff versus the road crops.
Yep. So, I mean, you know, this is 195 horsepower. Now at Versatile, we're calling this a small tractor. But when I was a kid, you know, I would have killed to be driving a 195 horse tractor. So, it's going to be a good hay tractor, loader tractor. I'm really excited about the front PTO and 3-point for like triple mowers and stuff like that. So, it's going to be just a nice tractor to have around the farm.
Yep. I guess you don't quite need a Delta track to run a hay barn.
No, not really, but you can. Overkill, you know, so,
Yeah, well, it was good talking to you, Mike.
Thanks. Good to see you again. Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for day one of the farm show. It's 6 o'clock. Show, I think, is open 9 to 6 every day. But I'm out here. I'm going to find some dinner, and we'll be back tomorrow.